In Time magazine described him, here I'm quoting, as of Gandhian simplicity and uprightness. For those of us who have trouble summoning an 85% approval rate in our nuclear families, this is as good as life ever becomes. I don't know how you can do better than your start in office, but it is a remarkable start. So join me in welcoming the President of the Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bradley, for those very inspiring words. And reminds me that my father is looking at us right now, and if I fail to live up to his expectations, I might wind up on the floor in a little while. Dr. Ras, distinguished members of the Council of Foreign Relations, members of my delegation, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for the warm welcome and kind introduction. I appreciate this great opportunity to engage you in a conversation about the Philippines. I am here to share with you the aspirations of close to 100 million Filipinos that I represent. The day I took my oath of office as president, I vowed to our people that I will dedicate my life to making our democracy reach its fullest potential, that of ensuring equal opportunity for all. In an essay he wrote in 1968 for Foreign Affairs, my father lamented, and I quote, that the blessings of liberty have not included liberation from poverty, and that there are great disparities and chronic inequities of Philippine society. His words still ring true today. I was put into office by the people who believed in my idea that corruption is the root of poverty, that an end to corruption would mean an end to poverty. My government is ready to deliver on the second part of this pledge. We will channel any gains into the people through social services like education, health, and conditional cash transfers that serve both as life vests for the poorest of the poor and incentives to ensure that they can move forward in life by getting educated and staying healthy. My government's mantra, to guarantee a more equitable distribution of our nation's resources. This can only be achieved through stronger economic growth investments that are needed in social services, but they are also necessary in infrastructure, utilities, and job-generating enterprises. Given the scarce resources that we have, attracting foreign capital has become a vital component of my anti-poverty program. And I'm here today to tell you that my government is doing what it takes to create a more investor-friendly environment. Part of my mandate is to curb corruption and streamline a cumbersome, graft-ridden bureaucracy, to put resources where they will provide the clearest results, and to untangle a complicated regulatory environment. The mission I've set out for myself is to lead by example, rally our people, and unite them behind a common sense of purpose. It is imperative for us to work hand in glove and persevere in creating a just society for all. I have laid out the tenets that will mark the new Philippines: good governance, employment generation, quality education, improved public health, and a home for every family within safe communities. Even as we exert our best to create jobs at home, the immediate reality is that many of my compatriots continue to seek greener pastures abroad. This makes them vulnerable to human traffickers and illegal recruiters. We are thus doubling our efforts to bring the full force of the law against those who prey on the vulnerable. We have committed to restore integrity in leadership and governance. We will battle corruption, cut red tape, and exact the highest standards of performance from our bureaucracy. The government must earn the full trust and confidence of its citizens. This trust and confidence is the motive force that would get them actively involved in building and rebuilding our nation. By empowering the people and nurturing democratic participation, we can truly bring about real reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, I came here to declare that the Philippines is open for business under new management. Today, I invite you to take part in the transformation of the Philippines. We are striving in earnest to build a government where everything works and pursue programs for our economic takeoff. The forging of private-public partnerships, or PPPs, would be our main engine in revving up our economy. We will enlist the participation of the private sector, both domestic and foreign, in big-ticket, capital-intensive infrastructure projects, while ensuring reasonable returns. We shall officially launch the PPPs this October. An initial list of 10 PPP projects worth $4.5 billion is already being developed. We look forward to the participation of the U.S. investors, specifically as we open up our infrastructure sector to foreign participation. There is no better time than now to bank on the Philippines and lay the groundwork for future long-term business and economic success. The global economic recovery, growth in international trade, and overall has improved levels of confidence have already borne fruit. In the first half of 2010, the Philippine economy showed robust growth of 7.8% and 7.9%. Full-year GDP growth will likely reach the upper end of the 5 to 6% percentile target. Perhaps we hope we can even reach higher. There was a return of the bulls to our local stock market. Trading has reached fever pitch, and foreign funds are streaming our way. There was a net inflow of $128 million in foreign direct investments in June of 2010, as compared to the previous month's net outflow. Since the end of June, when I was inaugurated president, 754.55 billion pesos in wealth was created when measured by the increase in domestic market capitalization. For the first time, the Philippines was also able to raise $1 billion through the sale of a peso-denominated global bond. This bond issuance generated high investor interest from across the globe, from Asia, Europe, and the United States. Financial analysts point to good governance and market-driven economic growth as the impetus for this investor confidence. Our doors are wide open for investors, particularly in tourism, business process outsourcing, mining, electronics, housing, and agricultural sectors. Tourism is a crucial industry that could employ millions of Filipinos, skilled and unskilled alike, across the 7,107 islands of the Philippines. From the current projection of 3.3 million tourist arrivals in 2010, our aim is to eventually attract 6 million tourists. In the process, we expect to create 3 million jobs in the next 6 years. BPOs continues to be a sunrise industry in the Philippines. From virtually nothing 10 years ago, this sector has grown into a $7.2 billion industry, employing 450,000 people. Today, the Philippines has the second biggest BPO industry in the world, next only to India, and growth forecast remains very encouraging on the long term. The Philippines has vast minerals that are still untapped. It has one of the world's largest deposits of gold, nickel, copper, and chromite. Through responsible mining, we intend to generate more revenues from the extraction of these resources. If we succeed in getting the support of foreign and local investors for our PPP programs, we will have money to spend for the delivery of much-needed social services across the country. As we strengthen our economic infrastructure, we will also create the peaceful and stable environment necessary for economic growth. I have offered a place at the table for everyone who wants to talk about peace, to unite our country and bring the disillusioned and the disenfranchised who have chosen the violent path back into our democratic mainstream. My administration's compact with the Filipino people will demand no less than the attainment of lasting peace and equitable prosperity. We will employ all the tools at our disposal to achieve this. The Philippine relations with the United States are vital. The special ties that exist between us as security allies and development partners serve as a steady anchor in American engagement towards the Asia-Pacific. The earlier colonial patron-client relationship has evolved through the years into modern, mature, and mutually beneficial relations. Our economic relations are robust. The United States is among our leading trade partners. It ranks as our largest export market and second largest supplier. About 18% of total Philippine exports were bound for the U.S., and approximately 12% of our imports were sourced from America last year. The U.S. has also been traditionally the Philippines' largest foreign investor, mostly in the manufacturing sector. We are now advocating for the passage of a bill pending in the U.S. Congress, known as the Save Our Industries Act, or the SAVE Act. If signed into law, it would give duty-free breaks for Philippine garment exports to the U.S., which were processed from U.S.-made fabrics. It will also give reduced tariffs on those that use U.S.-made yarns. This is a win-win proposition for both the U.S. and the Philippines. It will reinvigorate both the U.S. textile industry and our garments industry and create jobs on both sides of the Pacific.